welcome to Storyboard. I'm Shibani Gharat. India's 5,000 crore rupees pet food market is heating up, and Godrej has thrown its hat in the ring with a bold new bet. Godrej Ninja. From a 500 crore rupees investment plan to science-led India-first formulation, we sat down with Robert Menzies, who's the CEO of Godrej Petcare, to find out why it was a Tamil Nadu-led launch, how they plan to crack a space which is currently led by unpackaged food when it comes to pet care, and what will it take to win over Indian pet parents across metros and small towns alike. He also told us what was his own dog's feedback about Ninja. Listen in. Rob, welcome to CNBC-TV18.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, you've launched or set foot in the pet care or pet foods market for now. Started with Tamil Nadu. Tell us more about the insights from the market. Why did you choose Tamil Nadu as a state to launch this product?
Yeah. So, Tamil Nadu is quite a big market within pet food. It's roughly 10% of the market overall. It's quite an affluent state. It's quite urbanized. And so pet ownership is reasonably high in Tamil Nadu. It's also a state where GCPL has a lot of strength. So it's the home of some of our big brands. It's a real heartland for brands like Goodnight, Synthol. And we do a lot of our test markets in Tamil Nadu.
So what does the sequence look like when it comes to rollout in the other states of the country? Which states will you go to next?
So we're playing that by ear, but I think we're getting great response from the market. And hence, we're feeling confident to go to the whole of India with our launch. So stay tuned. We'll be going public with what exactly those plans are. But we should be coming to the rest of India pretty soon.
And when is Ninja coming to Mumbai?
Very soon.
You are a pet owner yourself.
I am, yes.
You have a dog. Has he tried Ninja?
Of course, he has.
And what is his response?
Judging by the way he walloped off the bowl very quickly, I think it was a good response. So yeah, he's very keen on it. Yeah.
And if if he had like a superpower to give you a feedback or to speak about the product, what would he say about Ninja?
Well, you've just met Archie, and as you've seen, he's got a pretty high opinion of himself. He's a Shih Tzu. They're known for being a proud breed of dog. So I think he would complain that he's not on the packaging for one thing, and not in the TV ad. But he'd definitely have good feedback about the food, I could tell.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about the marketing plan and the distribution plan going forward. But since you mentioned that Archie is upset that he's not on the pack, do we see him on the pack coming soon? Or what? We saw him in a lot of pictures around the launch of this product.
I would certainly love to see Archie on the pack, and he certainly would. My marketing team might have something else to say about that, but who knows? Let's see.
And do we see a celebrity endorser endorsing this product going forward, considering like something or someone who would match Archie's personality?
We wouldn't rule that out. But what we're trying to build the brand around is the concept of being a science-backed brand. So you'll see when we communicate to pet parents and other parts of the ecosystem, we speak a lot about the product, about the R&D that's gone into the product, and all of those kind of aspects. And hence, in our TV ad, you don't see a celebrity, you actually see a dog acting as a doctor, because we feel like that's a good way of conveying all of the science and the sort of health knowledge that's gone into this product.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but currently pet care is a 5,000 crore market in India, about to grow up to 10,000 crore in the coming years by 2028. How much share of this market are you realistically targeting going forward by 2028?
Well, we've gone on record as saying that we're investing 500 crores in this space as GCPL to create the subsidiary of Godrej Petcare. So you can imagine that to get a return on that kind of investment, we're aiming for a pretty substantial amount of market share. I would note, though, that we're also very excited about the role we can play in helping to grow the market as well. So it's not just about taking a share, it's also about growing the pie overall, which really means persuading pet parents to feed their animals pet food as opposed to home-cooked food.
Yeah. When I met Sudhir around the results, he mentioned how pet care is one of the categories of the future for GCPL. So give us, as a CEO of this particular range of products, give us an insight on what does it mean for Godrej?
It's a really big strategic initiative for Godrej Consumer. 500 crores is not a small investment. But the reason we're doing that is because we're super excited about the opportunity in the market, as Sudhir also said. What I was saying about the number of pet parents feeding packaged food, it's only about 5%. 5% of the food is packaged food, 95% is home food. In other markets that are maybe a little further down the road in terms of development, that number is much higher. So in China, it would be 5 times higher, for example. So if you think about more people having pets and more people feeding those pets pet food, there is an awful lot of growth potential in the market. So we think it could grow 10x in quite a reasonable time frame.
And packaged food penetration is generally a challenge in a country like India. So what are you doing differently? What will you do differently going forward as well?
Yeah. So I think probably 3 parts to that. I think first you have to get the product right. Okay, you need a product which gives pet parents a reason to switch from their home cooked food to the packaged food. So we've invested a lot in R&D. We've been figuring out how to make the food healthier, but of course it also has to be tasty to the dog as well. If it doesn't eat it, then none of the health benefits are going to come through. So I think the first thing is to get the product right. I think we are doing a lot of work in marketing and communicating to pet parents and kind of making a case for packaged food, helping them understand what the health benefits are, maybe helping them understand a little bit about what might be lacking in some of the home food diets that our food does provide. And thirdly, if you speak to pet parents and you ask what influences your choices of food for your pet, they will very often say the vet. The vet is the expert in the space. And so we're doing a lot of work with vets to support them in influencing pet parents towards packaged food, which is much healthier for the animal.
And now Nestle is also entering this category, increased competition. How will you, how will you stay price competitive in this market going forward?
Yeah, so we do expect there to be more competition in the market going forward. To some extent, we welcome that because we think that the more brands there are, then the more brands will be doing the work of developing the category and making the pie bigger,
as a whole.
The
category will grow as a whole.
The category will grow, yeah, we do anticipate that. We think that if we stick to our strategy, which is to provide healthy products at affordable price points, to do a good job on marketing to pet parents, and to work very closely with the ecosystem. I mentioned vets, but also the specialty pet retailers, the breeders. If we stick to that, then we feel confident that we can succeed in this category.
Yeah, you mentioned how education and the fact that this is science-backed nutrition for your pets is a message that you want the pet parents to take home with them. Also, reaching out to vets because many of the decisions are driven by vets on what food to choose for the pets. Having said that, tell us what kind of marketing and advertising strategy you will employ to ensure that all of these pieces fall in their place.
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, we have to speak directly to the pet parents. So as I mentioned before, we're doing a lot of advertising. Some of that is on TV, some of that is on YouTube, some of it is on social media, speaking about what the benefit of the product is. And in our case, the benefit of Ninja dog food is that it improves the gut health and the immunity of the dog. And that's an issue which many pet parents do face, whether it's issues with digestion, whether it's the dog getting unwell. And that's something which our pet food helps address. So if you were in Tamil Nadu now, you would be seeing very often TV ads on social media, etc. You would see that. But as I said, I think the vet piece is really important as well. So again, if you went to a Coimbatore, Trichy, and you walk into a vet clinic, there's a good chance you'll see a big Godrej Ninja poster on the wall, which has a picture of a bowl of curd rice, which is what pet parents often feed, and a picture of a bowl of kibble, and makes the point that the curd rice only has a few grams of protein, the kibble has 20 grams. So just a small step towards starting to educate pet parents about the differences and the reason to switch to pet food.
Going forward, do you plan to expand Ninja beyond food to other subcategories like grooming, like treats?
Yeah, so there's a few different ways we can look to expand. I think the first priority is to succeed in dog food. That's the biggest part of the pet care market. But we can expand along the axis of other pets. So cats are also a reasonably big market in India. And as you mentioned as well, grooming products, home care products, all of these things are on the table. Right now, we're very focused on succeeding in dog food. That's the first priority.
Yes, and going forward, how do you plan to leverage on the distribution strength of GCPL, taking it to other markets?
Yeah, so absolutely. I think one thing to note about the Indian market is that a lot of the market goes through a specialty pet channel. So part of what we've been doing as Godrej Petcare has been building that channel. But once you've invested in that distribution, then you have the opportunity to put many other pet-related products through that. GCPL more broadly helps us with other channels. So we already have relationships with e-commerce players, quick commerce players, modern trade players. All of that we can leverage to expand our distribution footprint in Tamil Nadu, in other parts of the country as well.
So finally, before we go, Rob, as the CEO of Godrej Petcare, and also being a pet parent yourself, what is your aspiration with Ninja going forward? Where do you see it going in the next 5 years, by 2030, let's say?
So I think there's a kind of business part to it, and there's a more personal part to that as well. The business part is that we have to create a big, valuable business. I think GCPL's roughly a $15 billion market cap business. So for us to be relevant, we have to create a lot of value ourselves as the pet subsidiary. But I think on a more personal level, and having met very many pet parents out there in the market, and speaking to vets as well, there is an issue with the nutrition of pets in this country. And there is a really big opportunity to improve the health of pets by feeding them better food. And that's what energizes me personally, is to play a small part in improving the health of millions of pets around the country.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Great to be here.
It is time for a short break. On the other side, we have with us Godrej Mehta, VP of Marketing at De Beers India, speaking to us about why natural diamonds still hold unmatched emotional power in a market flirting with lab-grown alternatives. Welcome back. What does the diamond dream look like in today's India, and how is De Beers reshaping it for a new generation? We caught up with Godrej Mehta, VP of Marketing at De Beers India, to unpack bold campaigns, changing rituals, and why natural diamonds still hold an unmatched emotional power in a market flirting with lab-grown alternatives. Listen in. Over the past decade or so, how has the diamond dream evolved for De Beers, for the Indian consumers, and what does the diamond dream look like in today's context?
The first diamond was found 4,000 years ago. So diamonds in India are part of India's heritage, part of India's culture, part of India's history. They were always markers of status, markers of strength, markers of royalty. So in that context, diamonds have this huge sense of aspiration. Over the past years and over the past decade, we've been seeing consumers who are consuming jewelry moving towards diamonds slowly and steadily. There is this whole sense of wonderment, sense of aspiration, attraction towards diamonds, which is which you don't see too much when you look at gold. So in comparison, diamonds always create far more aspiration for Indian women. And we see that currently the penetration for for natural diamonds is about 10%, and we want that to increase in the future.
Yeah, and there is a lot of inclination towards, these lab-grown diamonds these days, which are, of course, cheaper. So how do you build, as a marketer of diamonds at De Beers, how do you build the case for natural diamonds vis-a-vis lab-grown diamonds? What is the difference that you want to make consumers understand?
Lab-grown products and natural diamonds are not comparable. That's my personal opinion. One is a wonder of nature, one is a manufactured product. Yeah. If you were to look at it in terms of sustainability, which is one of the key areas where natural diamonds are supposed to be unsustainable, there is a lot of sustainability work that natural diamonds do, and all of that is being tracked. Whereas, whilst there are some sustainable lab-grown diamond companies, not all of them are, because there is a huge amount of energy consumption that lab-grown diamond companies use to create the environment to grow the diamond, and that energy is not always renewable energy. So that is one part where we have to actually understand whether the sustainability claims
are true or not.
Yes.
Yeah. And apart from that?
And then there is price. But now if you were actually going to see, if everything was compared on price, the luxury market would not exist. So there are various aspects when you are looking at a wonder of nature, something so precious, so valuable, so rare, and then when you're looking at it as a product, and when you look at something that's mass produced, easily available, easily replicable, there is a huge difference. So that is something that we will always, that's something that we really think is important for consumers to understand.
Yeah. You know, a decade ago you were telling the diamond story, but now it's like a natural diamond story that, you know, you're telling. How important is education for the consumer, for the retailers in this natural diamond story that you're telling?
So I think it's extremely important for retailers as well as consumers, because just right now there is a lot of confusion in the market overall. So as De Beers, we have taken a number of steps to ensure that the consumer gets the right information and the retailers or the suppliers have adequate technology to be able to differentiate the products. So for example, De Beers has proprietary machinery like the diamond proof and synth detect, which will identify a lab grown diamond 100%. So these are the machines that we are supplying to our retailers and suppliers, who can actually then have the assurance that the diamonds that they are supplying are natural. From consumers' point of view, ideally the retailer has to identify and segregate the natural diamonds from lab grown diamonds, and when they are selling to customers, they have to explain that these are natural diamonds or these are lab grown products. So that is the education that we are giving to retailers, to ensure that, you know, there is no confusion that they create in the mind of the consumer. The FTC guidelines in USA actually mention that a natural diamond can be called a diamond, whereas a lab grown product has to be or a lab grown diamond has to come with the prefix that is lab grown or lab created or synthetic. So that those are steps that the retailer has to implement to ensure consumers are aware of what they are buying.
Yeah. You know, as a diamond marketer, tell us, you know, which one for you has been like a bigger war to fight? The war against the lab grown diamonds, or like, you know, the escalating gold prices and hence preference towards investing more in gold?
We should not look at diamonds as the ideal investment option, okay? Because there are many things. There is stock market, there is real estate, there is, you know, gold, and these are commodities. These are things that you trade. Diamonds are like art.
Yeah.
There is something that fulfills your heart, fulfills your soul when you buy a diamond. It's not just about money. Otherwise, there is lots that you can do with your money, but these natural diamonds are more to do with the happiness that you get, the emotional satisfaction that you get when you buy it. And that is what we actually claim, that when you look at a piece of art, you say, oh wow, what a amazing you know, creation. And that's what natural diamonds are.
Yeah. And now, you know, the conversation has shifted from diamonds being family heirlooms to, you know, having them for your everyday occasions in your lives. And that's the way also in which you're targeting the younger population, the Gen Zs. So give us insights from, you know, some of the insights from the younger consumer that you're targeting.
What we've realized is that diamonds, the moment you talk about diamonds, there is a lot that emotionally is resonant with consumers. Things like they give me a sense of independence, they give me a sense of identity, they give me a sense of confidence, they give me a sense that I can belong anywhere. So these are various things that diamonds actually bring out in consumers' minds. We also noticed that in the current research that we did, there were 3 things that actually were changing perceptions that we observed from the past. So one is the fact that they all feel that natural diamonds are unique, just like me, because every diamond is unique once it comes from nature. So they always feel that these diamonds are unique just like me, and therefore they are meant for me. Also, natural diamonds take billions of years to be formed, and they go through a path which is again unique compared to any other diamond, because the fact that they have survived a billion years is something that really makes them precious. And that's what consumers say, that they've gone through a unique journey, and this journey is a diamond, therefore I identify with it. Yeah. And the third one is, of course, everyday wear. So as most of people mention that diamonds are for my locker, actually consumers now, especially the younger consumers, want to wear their diamonds every day. Yeah. And that's where new product design comes into play. Sure. Versatility of design, you know, less ornate, more to go with your look and your vibe. So those are the kind of things that consumers are looking at just now.
Yeah, and another interesting insight and another interesting campaign that you guys have come up with is, you know, the one which was launched around the Father's Day, the second piercing campaign. So tell us more, how did that come about?
We picked up on the ritual of the second piercing. Now, every daughter or every girl, when she gets her ears pierced the first time, she has absolutely no say in it. It's done for her. But the second time is always her choice. Yeah. And that normally happens when she's just stepping out into her independence, just, you know, after school, just beginning college or in college. And that's one step that she takes, which is a choice of her own. Yeah. And she is building her own sense of agency. So that's what we wanted to tap into. And what we've also realized is fathers, although they seem very distant in the ideal sense of space, but they actually are very supportive of a daughter growing into her own, and that's a change that we've seen in the fathers now. So we realize that there is this bond, especially the girl dad, where dads are changing the way, or daughters are changing the way dads behave, or dads actually have a relationship with their daughter, and that's what we tapped into.
How wonderful. And tell us more also about your association with Tanish. How is that you know, association coming about for De Beers?
Tanish is also very keen to ensure that consumers are understand what they are getting, and the value that they are offering to consumers is what they actually expect. So that's what we are working towards, is to build a synergy between the whole natural diamond communication to ensure that Tanish has adequate amount of training, adequate amount of information, and adequate amount of ideas or stories which they can then talk to their consumers about.
Yeah, what is your broader vision for natural diamonds in the next decade? If you can give us an understanding, how do you see it growing? How do you see the penetration in the country growing?
So, as I mentioned, currently our penetration, the diamond penetration in the country is about 10%. Over the next 3 years, we hope to get it up to 15%. We are also working a lot on ground with the smaller retailers, whilst the big chains are quite conversant with how to manage the business of natural diamonds and how to manage the business of diamond jewelry. The smaller retailers still are struggling a bit because they don't have the adequate resources. And along with our partnership with the GCPL, we are actually working with the smaller retailers to train them on how to understand what natural diamonds are, because it's a slightly complex business. It's not similar to how gold business is. So it's a slightly complex business, but it's a profitable business. So how we explain to them or support them in understanding how the business is run, training them on what natural diamonds are, how to understand them, which are the manufacturers they can reach out to, create networking opportunities, and all of that we are working on as a combined program with the GCPL called INDRA, the Indian Natural Diamond Retailer Alliance. And that is something that we are working on, which will help us build on-ground presence. In India, there is a huge opportunity. If you were to look at the US, the penetration in the US is at about 75% of diamonds, whereas in India we are at 10%. So there is only one way for us to go, which is up.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, X and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.